Good morning. Welcome to Makeup and Ministry with Kimberly. I am going to talk to you today about some things from the Old Testament while I do my makeup, and I hope that you gain a lot of insight from it. So today I'm going to talk about King David and King Saul. First of all, though, I'm going to go ahead and do my routine of putting on my concealer so that my eyeshadow stays on. Remember, I always put on my concealer so that the eyeshadow has something to cling to. Reminds me of that song. So I'll cling to the old rugged cross, where my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. Okay, so next I'm going to do my eyes. Anyway, I've been reading 2 Samuel in my Bible reading. I'm doing a Bible, reading the whole Bible in a year. So we've reached 2 Samuel, and the Israelites wanted a king. And the Lord was not pleased that they wanted a king, because the Lord wanted to be their king. A lot of times the Lord shows me He wants to be my everything. He doesn't want any idols. He doesn't want anything taking the place of Him. And the Israelites wanted a king instead of God being the king. So God granted their wish. And the first king was Saul. And David anointed Saul king over Israel. And trying to remember, do I put the light on first or the dark? The light. So the Lord gave them a king and anointed Saul as their first king. Now, Saul did what was wicked in the sight of the Lord. He was supposed to raid a town, kill everybody in it, and not bring any of the spoil back. Not even the animals. And what Saul did was he brought back the animals and he brought back the king against the Lord's wishes. And Samuel showed up and said, "Why do I hear the bleating of sheep?" And Samuel blamed the whole thing on the people. I mean, not Samuel. Paul blamed the whole thing on the people. And he basically said the people made me do it. And sorry, trying to make a decision on my color here. And Samuel saw in Saul that he feared people more than he feared God. And he said that the Lord says, I desire mercy and not sacrifice. Oh, no, he said obedience is better than sacrifice. And he said, therefore your kingdom shall be torn away from you and given to somebody else. And so we see in the family of Jesse, Samuel decides that the Lord decided that Samuel needed to go to the house of Jesse and find a new king. So all the brothers lined up, and Samuel was like, surely it's this one. The Lord said, no, it's not this one. I've decided on somebody else. So the father Jesse was like, surely it's this son, this son, this son, and this one. And what happened was the Lord was like, Samuel said, do you have any other children? And Jesse said, I have one more, but he's out tilling he's out looking after the sheep. It was pretty much like, you don't want him. He's just a kid and he's looking after the sheep. And so Saul was like, Samuel was like, well, go get him. And so they went and got David. And the Lord showed Saul that David was the next king of Israel. And Saul was surprised that it was going to be David, because he was a small man, said he was ruddy, so he was good looking. And David, the Lord said about David, look not on the outward appearance, for the man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And so that's kind of a foreshadowing of what's going to happen later on. When the Lord, for so many instances, looked at David's heart. Saul was jealous of David and decided that he was going to chase him and kill him, because he knew that the kingdom was going to be torn away from David, from himself, Saul, and given to David. And so he pursued him, and he did not win. David became king over Judah. Now, I wanted to speak to you guys. Saul was rejected as king because he disobeyed the Lord. And the Spirit of the Lord left him. and an evil spirit tormented him. But David, on the other hand, if you read the rest of the story, David, he had a man murdered by putting him on the front lines. And then he took his wife. That seems like something way worse than what Saul did. But yet, King David had a heart for the Lord. And the Lord did not withdraw his spirit from him. And it says when David was picked and anointed as king, that man looks on the outward appearance, but God looks on the heart. The Lord saw David's heart. He did not depart from him. Even though he did what was probably infinitely, exponentially worse than Saul. Excuse me. I get my words right. So the Lord looks on the heart. And I heard a man yesterday, a preacher, say that he looked up on GDP. I'm saying it wrong. Let me see what it's called. ChatGPT, and asked him to write a prayer in a certain style of a certain preacher. And ChatGPT wrote that prayer. And the pastor was like, this is a machine. And you can be like this machine, writing out, saying empty words that are not pleasing to God, because they're just empty words. You can say anything and just have it be empty words, mean nothing from your heart. But God desires that we worship him in spirit and in truth. He wants feelings, he wants emotions. Comes from our spirit. He wants true worshipers. Are you one of those worshipers? Can you sit down and kneel at the Father's feet? Just put on some praise music and bask in his presence. He's looking for people like that who will set time aside and worship him in the glory of his presence. Putting on my bronzer here. Now my blush. Okay. And that's all I'm going to do for today. I hope that you guys learned something today. Worship God in spirit and in truth. Know that He loves you. He longs to spend time with you. And if you just spend time in His presence, you won't be able to stop thinking about Him. You'll spend all your time thinking about Him all throughout your day. That presence will carry you. It will remain with you. He said, I am faithful. And I just want to let you know that He loves you. He's there for you. And no matter what you're going through, He's right there with you. I hope you all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.